No matter the location, from O-A-K-L-A to L-V, I'm a Raider.
Raider Nation, what's going on? Y'all are watching the Raiders Report. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that big red button that says subscribe. That way you can join me for all my Raiders mailbags. And remember, I film these every single Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. So the first question coming in here is from Shane Gambill. Appreciate the super chat, my dude. Is it time to put DC in the top 10 quarterbacks? And if Casey Hayward keeps playing the way he did in week 2, is it time to extend his contract? Is DC a top 10 quarterback right now? Yes, absolutely. I mean, he's top 5 in my personal. He's number 2 in my power ranking. He's been that freaking good. In terms of Casey Hayward extension, it's funny that you bring this up. I was talking about this with someone before I came on today's show, and I was like, yes, if you could extend Casey Hayward right now, you do so. The reason why he's probably not going to do it is because he's playing as well as he is, and he signed a 1-year deal. The salary cap goes up next year, and he's going to be able to make a lot more money on the free agent wire. Zornell Malone, they hit on draft picks. I think you're saying they hit on draft picks. I mean, if that's your super chat, they missed on Alex Leatherwood thus far. Merrick has looked pretty good. Nate Hobbs has looked pretty good. But Malcolm Kuntz, he hasn't even really gotten on the field. Divine Diablo hasn't gotten on the field yet. Really, the only pick that I said has been an absolute hit thus far has been Nate Hobbs, and I think Hobbs is going to be a starter for a while. What up, Bronaton Thomas? Gruden deserves more credit for getting rid of our overpriced offensive line. Ask the Steelers and Ravens about our offensive line. I mean, 2-0. I mean, I don't see why we would ask the Steelers and Ravens. I mean, they absolutely just demolished our offensive line the first 2 weeks. But I will say Rodney Hudson hasn't been very good. Gabe Jackson hasn't been very good from what I've seen thus far. So, yes, I agree that it was smart to get rid of some of those players. However, the Raiders grossly were too overconfident, I guess is a way to say, about the line. I mean, the line's been bad. There's just no other way to put it. The Raiders' offensive line this year has been very, very bad. Let's go to Scott. What up, Scott LeBrun? Is there an offensive line player that we could trade for? Realistically, there's probably one offensive lineman that comes to my mind that's not really happy in his current position. The issue is, one, I always struggle saying his name. It's he's the backup lineman for the Chiefs. It's like Laurent Duvernay Tarney, thank you. I just can never get it, but he's probably one of the only offensive linemen that I could be like, okay, he definitely could end up getting traded. Also, the backup for the Eagles, I believe he's their left tackle. Can't think of his name right now, but there are some linemen out there. Dillard, there you go. November 2nd is the trade deadline, so we'll see ultimately what happens, but there's a lot of talented guys on the free agent market before we go out and starting to trade for dudes. What up, Madman Raider? What is the timetable for Incognito's return? I have no idea. I mean, the fact that he's missed the amount of games that he has is definitely scary. I mean, he injured that ankle. I believe the date was August 19th. It was joint practice up against the Los Angeles Rams. So it's the same foot that he had the Achilles injury last year. They're going to take it slow with him, but in terms of when is he going to come back, man, I have absolutely no freaking idea. Now, here's something that I do have an awesome idea about. You guys should go ahead and get yourself a 17-piece professional knife set. Marsh, I only want you to show this screen, though, no other one. Go to chatsports.com/knife. The reason why you guys want to go ahead and get set up with this is because blacked out knives, and they're perfectly able to be thrown in the washer as well. I know people are trying to tailgate. I know people are trying to have a good time. The reason why you need to go to chatsports.com/knife. Also, support a Raider fan. My man Will, he's got these knives, and he's really trying to be able to give them away to the nation. Usually they're $99.99, but we're cutting down the prices 40% off here. So you can get them for $59.99, chatsports.com/knife. All right, we got Randy the Raider. Do you think that the Raiders are a top 5 team right now? I do think that they're a top 5 team. In fact, I put them number 4 in my NFL power rankings over at Chat Sports. If you guys want to let me know down in the comments section where you have the Raiders ranked, I think they're clearly a top 5 team. How you beat the Steelers and the Ravens, both of those teams are very good. The Raiders beat them. So, yeah, top 5. What up? Next question coming in from Juan. Jose Real. What does the Raiders cap space look like right now? Unfortunately, I don't have that answer off the top of my head. I believe, though, they're going to have an extra $3-4 million because of Corey Littleton being freed up there. But the issue is I have to be able to crunch the numbers because Spotrac and Over the Cap, they're so different. So usually I need like an hour to be able to crank out some numbers to get this answer. Unfortunately, I don't have it for you. So if you want to message me on Instagram, MitchellRens365, I can give you a better answer. Let's go to Tyler M11. If James struggles again, put Morrissey there. I believe in him a lot. So I actually don't really believe in Jimmy Morrissey all that much. They would put Nick Martin in before they gave Morrissey, the 7th-round pick out of Pitt, a shot. But James has struggled, there's no doubt. The issue is they already gave him a 3-year contract extension without ever seeing him play. They're going to try to ride it out. They're going to try to see what they got out of him. So we'll see what it is. Also, your profile picture, it reminds me of a show that I just can't quite think of. Tyler, I think that you're subscribed to the Raiders Report. I just got a gut feeling about it. So if you haven't already, hit that big red button and go ahead and subscribe for free Raiders videos. I understand that realistically Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it could be a long week and you sit there and you can't wait for Raiders football on Sunday. But don't worry, Raiders football is 365 days out of the year, and I've made a video, I believe, every single day for the past 2 years. So if you're looking for Raiders content, if you want to know more Raiders than literally your best friends or some random guy at a bar, hit that subscribe button. I'll keep you updated. Let's go to Raider Profit. Still, no one wants to give Kaepernick a look. No, and I don't blame anybody. Kaepernick has not been good for a very long time. He hasn't played since 2016, so to be honest, I can't even believe that Colin Kaepernick even gets brought up still. It's mind-blowing to me. All right, ex-Monster Opus, Nate Hobbs, steal the draft. So far, yes. So far, Nate Hobbs, who was drafted in the 5th round, somebody that I said I wasn't very excited about, I believe has been the steal of the draft thus far. And it's kind of funny. The Raiders have totally whiffed on drafting guys early on, but Max Crosby, by far the steal of the draft in 2019. And right now it's looking like Nate Hobbs, 2021, steal of the draft. Buy my lunch 6. I'm going to pass. Who would you trade if you could, Clelin Ferrell or Damon Arnette? If I had to pick between both of them, I probably would trade Damon Arnette first simply because I've never been a fan of Arnette, and Arnette's never been good. Cleveland, I actually thought played halfway decent last year, but it doesn't really seem like the Raiders are very confident in him overall. But how about this? If you guys had to pick one of these players to trade, who would you trade? Would you trade Damon Arnette type D, or would you trade Clelin Ferrell type C? Maybe some of you are going to go ahead and type DC, and realistically, man, I don't really blame you. However, 2 first-round picks that the Raiders have. If you're lucky to get a 4th or 5th-round pick for either of them, I think you honestly take it. Emmanuel Salazar, you're next up here on the Raiders Report. Damon Arnette for Darius Leonard. Good joke. Colts pick up the phone. They flick you off. They tell you to go shove it. And I mean, you're not Damon Arnette right now. I would take a 5th-round pick for him, but I don't even think a team would give up a 5th-round pick for Damon Arnette. He's been that bad, guys. Like, we have to face the fact he's been that bad. Let's go to James B. Osemele may be worth a flyer. So I put Kelechi Osemele in my offensive line projection or offensive line target video. He's just, I don't know if he's 100% healthy. If he is healthy, though, yes, I agree with you. He's at least worth a phone call. Miguel Grimaldo, you guys hype up this defense too much. Nobody in this D would start for Denver. I mean, you could not. You're telling me that Max Crosby wouldn't start and Yannick Ngakoue wouldn't start on the Denver Broncos. You're drunk, or even though since you're in Denver, you're probably high. Untouchable Raid 1960. Should we sign David DeCastro or to Kelechi Osemele? Our O-line is struggling and is bad. I would rather sign DeCastro than Osemele, but both of these players have some injury history. But when both of them are healthy, they're both very good. But I would go ahead and say DeCastro over Kelechi. Thicc Diglett. The reason why this is a very creative name is because if you don't know what a Thicc Diglett is, don't Google it, and definitely don't look up videos about it. Timetable for Josh Jacobs. I think Jacobs is going to miss week 3 this upcoming week, and I actually did a rumors video on Tuesday, if you haven't seen it yet, about him potentially getting put on the IR with turf toe. Something to keep in mind, but I'm scared about Jacobs. I just don't think he's going to play this week. How about this, yo? So if Jacobs isn't going to play, how many rushing yards will the Raiders have week 3 up against the Miami Dolphins? Let me know down in the comments section. Let's go to Flub831. Your caps might be on, I'm just saying. Possibility of going into week 4 undefeated. I would probably give it 3 Chucky heads. I mean, I think that the Raiders are a better team than Miami. I think most people watching right now would totally agree with that. And if the Raiders can go ahead and win this game, that basically gives them a 76.6% chance of making the playoffs. So I'm hoping that that's the fact. Let's go to Justin Mclaren. From 1 to 10, how panicked are you about Leatherwood? I'm probably a 7, simply because it's been early. Not that I anticipated him to struggle, but the moment that the Raiders drafted him, I said, hey, he's going to struggle early on, but he's going to be okay like Colton Miller. But as bad as he's been, like he hasn't only just been bad, he hasn't been below average. He's been literally the worst tackle in the league. I mean, think about that. He's given up 3 sacks. He's given up 4 bad penalties, 7 quarterback pressures, and then 1 QB hit. It's not been good, guys. J-Day. Mitch, with the release of Nevin Lawson and the reconstruction of Corey Littleton's contract, Sherman! I mean, P. Sherman, 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I don't think the Raiders go out and get him. If you're a watcher of our Chat Sports show, I'm going to be doing a Richard Sherman video tomorrow, which is going to be Wednesday. Check it out live. If you watch this video on Saturday, then go ahead, check it out on Chat Sports. But I don't see Richard Sherman coming to the Raiders. What is turf toe? It's a great question. So I'm not a doctor, but from what I understand, it's like a severe jam of the toe, and it's a very difficult thing to be able to heal from. It just takes time. It just takes rest. And honestly, if you play on it, it gets worse and worse and worse, or it just can lead to a more severe injury. So from what I hear, Jacobs has turf toe, but don't quote me on that. What up, Roberto? Trade D and C for Mike Evans. The only way you're getting Mike Evans is if you combine that D and C and make Derek Carr, because you're not going to trade Damon Arnette and you're not going to trade Clelin Ferrell for Mike Evans. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, no way. If you want a wide receiver to think about that you could get for Damon Arnette and Clelin Ferrell, and actually a realistic one, your options are probably a N'Keal Harry, a James Washington who hasn't been very happy about his stance. You're not getting Mike Evans. Let's go to William Merchant. I know one game at a time, but do you see a path to 7-0 before that bye and 8-0 before KC? I'm going to say this because the last time I started saying, oh, the Raiders could do this, the Raiders could do that, they started losing games. Let's just worry about getting to 3-0, and then we'll go on from there. But you play the Chargers on Monday Night Football, the Bears Week 5, and I believe I'm going to be in Las Vegas for that Week 5 game. And then after that, you got to take it one game at a time, man. Let's go to Timbo Lion. Where would you rank the Raiders' defense? They're top 10 right now. They have to be top 10. I believe the Raiders' offense overall, I believe it's like ranked 7th in yards, and then they're ranked 12th in yards on defense. But the way that they've been able to generate pressure and the teams that they've played against, right now the Raiders are playing like a top 10 defense. And it sounds weird to say, but it's the absolute truth. What up, Brian Safker? Since we are passing so much, do you think we have sacrificed some money on the O-line so we can have this badass defense? I mean, if there's one thing that I'll say, I know I've been very hard on the Raiders' offensive line. They've been atrocious against the run. They've actually been okay against the pass. Like, when I say okay, probably not bottom 5, but probably somewhere ranked around like 19 or 20. They're ranked dead last against the run, and it's not even close. But yes, they have sacrificed some of that talent on the O-line for that defense, but I'm actually okay with that. What up, Juan Hernandez? You think we should bring back Beast Mode out of retirement? Oh, man, we always get a Marshawn Lynch Beast Mode every single offseason. The answer to that, though, is no, and I don't think Marshawn wants to come out of retirement. He's doing a lot of good things. He's one of the smartest marketers of himself that there is in sports right now, but no, it's just not going to happen. All right, what up, Jose Martinez? Predict how many sacks and interceptions against Miami. If Tua plays, I'll say 2 picks. If Brissett plays, I'll say 1 pick. In terms of sacks, I really think the Raiders could get 5-6 sacks in this game. The Miami Dolphins have a terrible offensive line. Max Crosby's going to absolutely feast.